Moving to the next question, which of the following hormone is not secreted by placenta? So, the first option HCG, progesterone, estrogen, LH. So, in the previous slides I have already mentioned what are the hormones which are secreted by the reproductive organs, particularly in case of humans. So, now if you look into the placenta, so let me brief up. So, placenta is a physical and physiological connection between the mother and fetus, that is called as placenta. So, initially you know that the development of the placenta takes place from the chorionic layer, that is trophoblast cells. The trophoblast cell give rise to chorionic layer, and that chorionic layer give rise to a finger-like projections. Simultaneously, from the mother, blood vessels also produces finger-like projections. They come together and forms a barrier or a connection, and that connection is called as placenta. So, in case of human beings, you know that the placenta play a very significant role. The first one, if you look into the function of the placenta is involved in the transportation of the various substances which are required for the development of the fetus. Mainly the nutrients from the mother blood as well as oxygen from the mother blood. So, simultaneously whatever the metabolic wastes which are produced by the fetus, so that metabolic wastes are also removed by this placenta. So, for example, carbon dioxide as well as other toxic substances are released by the placenta. So, this is the one function of the placenta. The another function, if you look into that, the placenta, that is the placenta in case of human being, it acts like an endocrine organ. That means, in case of human beings, this placenta is involved in the secretion of nearly 5 different types of hormones. So, in that the first one is human chorionic gonadotropin hormone. The second one is human chorionic lactogen or lactotropin hormone. The third one is progesterone. The fourth one is estrogen, and the fifth one is relaxin. So, these are the 5 different hormones secreted by the placenta. So, in these options they have given HCG, of course it is secreted by the placenta, progesterone secreted by the placenta, estrogen secreted by the placenta, but if you look into the option D, LH, luteinizing hormone, it is not secreted by the placenta. So, as I mentioned earlier, the luteinizing hormone is secreted by the anterior pituitary. So, for that question, the correct option will be, that is option D, LH. So, this is the hormone is not secreted by the placenta. So, look into the next question. The following is not the function of progesterone. So, options: gestation, inhibition of ovulation, uterine growth and development, stimulation of mammary gland. So, first let us see what is gestation. So, gestation here refers to, it is the period or it is the time from time of fertilization to till parturition is called as gestation, or it is also called as pregnancy period. So, as I mentioned earlier, to maintain the pregnancy, a hormone is very essential, that is called as progesterone. That means the gestation period is maintained by a progesterone hormone. Then inhibition of ovulation. Yes, of course, as I said, as I mentioned earlier, so estrogen and progesterone are antagonistic to the FSH and LH. So, when there is a high concentration of progesterone in the blood, so that inhibit the ovulation. So, remember, for the ovulation process LH is required. So, in the presence of progesterone hormone, so there is no secretion of LH. So, as a result, the another function of the progesterone is inhibition of ovulation. So, look into the option 3, uterine growth and development. Yes, of course, for the further development of the fetus or the further development of the uterus, that is to accommodate the developing fetus, there should be a growth of uterus. That is one of the secondary sexual characteristics in case of female, and that is maintained by the progesterone. As a result, the function, that is the uterine growth and development, is also influenced by the progesterone hormone. Then look into the fourth option, that is D, the stimulation of mammary gland. So, you know that earlier I have mentioned, after the parturition, that means after the delivery of the baby, so there is the secretion of the milk from the mammary glands. The secretion of the milk from the mammary gland, it is mainly under the control of a hormone called as prolactin. So, remember, so this prolactin hormone is secreted by again anterior pituitary. So, one more hormone is required for the ejaculation of the milk from the mammary gland, that is called as oxytocin. So, as a result, the functioning of the mammary gland is under the control of prolactin and oxytocin. As a result, here there is no action of progesterone to stimulate the growth and development of the mammary gland. So, as a result, for this question, that is the following is not the function of progesterone, is option D, that is stimulation of mammary gland. It is not the function of progesterone. Okay, moving to the next question. So, which of the following is not the function of placenta? So, options: it facilitates supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo. Options B, secretes estrogen. Option C, facilitate removal of carbon dioxide and waste material from the embryo. Option D, secretes oxytocin during parturition. So, dear students, as I mentioned earlier in detail about the placenta. So, as you know that the placenta is involved in the transportation of the certain substances, as I said, useful substances as well as the elimination of the waste material. So, now if you look into the first option, the placenta, it facilitates supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo. Yes, of course. So, from the maternal blood or from the mother blood, so whatever the nutrients which are present, so that will be transported to the embryo through placenta, that is oxygen as well as nutrients. Then coming to the option B, secretes estrogen. As I said earlier, the placenta is act like a endocrine organ, that is by secreting nearly 5 different types of hormones. In that, estrogen is also a one hormone. Then coming to the option C, the placenta facilitates removal of carbon dioxide and waste material from the embryo. Yes. So, in the embryo also the various metabolic activities takes place. During that metabolic activities, whatever the metabolic waste which are produced, the most commonly the carbon dioxide as well as other the substances, nitrogenous substances or nitrogenous waste, they are removed from the embryo to the mother's blood with the help of the placenta. So, look into the fourth option, the placenta, it is involved in the secretion of oxytocin during parturition. So, you know that the secretion of the oxytocin, as I mentioned earlier, it is secreted by the neurohypophysis. So, that is from the pituitary gland. As I said, the neurohypophysis is involved in the secretion of two hormones, that is oxytocin and vasopressin, or it is also called as antidiuretic hormone. The secretion of the oxytocin, it is not from the placenta. As a result, so for this question, the correct option is they secrete oxytocin during parturition. It is wrong, because you know that oxytocin is not secreted by the placenta. That means it is not the function of placenta. So moving to the next question, the best definition of gastrulation is option A, single layer blastula becomes two layered, archenteron is formed, cell moves to occupy their definite position, zygote is get converted into larva. So first let me brief up about a few points regarding the gastrulation process. So first, what is gastrulation or what is gastrula? So look here. So soon after the formation of the blastocyst, and when this blastocyst get attached to the endometrium of the uterus, that is called as implantation. So after the implantation, the blastocyst, that is whatever the inner embryonic mass cell which is present in the blastocyst, that undergoes repeated mitotic cell division to form a mass of cell. It is a solid ball-like structure that is called as blastocyst. Then this blastocyst undergoes morphogenetic movement. That means whatever the cells which are formed from the blastula, so from that blastula is get converted into gastrula. So that process is called as gastrulation. So particularly during gastrulation process, what happens? The morphogenetic movement of the cells takes place to their destination, particularly to here to form three germ layers. So you know that the three germ layers are outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm and inner endoderm. So dear students, here you have to remember that, so these three layers are called as germ layers, and these germ layers are very important for the formation of various types of tissues, organs and organ system, particularly in the developing fetus. So as a result, here the correct definition for the gastrulation is the movement of the cells, or the cells move to their occupy their definite position. So that is the correct definition for the gastrulation. So soon after the formation of the three germ layers, what happens? The organs and tissues are going to form in their respective position. So that is called as gastrulation process. So as a result, for this question, the correct option is cells move to occupy their definite position is called as gastrulation. So dear students, to this I am going to conclude this chapter. So ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎರಡು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್, ಅದನ್ನು ಭಾಳ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನಾದ ನಂತರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ, ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿಗೆ ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಭಾಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. ಸೊ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ಓದಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೊ ಗೆಮೆಟೋಜೆನೆಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸೊ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಓದಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಈಗ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ಗಳು, ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಓದಿ. ಸೊ ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ನು ನಿಮಗಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಮೋಹನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ DN, ಸೊ ಅರಸೀಕೆರೆ, ಸೊ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೀ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಒನ್ ಆಲ್. ನಮಸ್ತೆ.